Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Spooked by Tape Backups, Go Virtual for IBM I. My name is Synar, Vice President of Electronic Storage Corporation. We are located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are a software developer and have been in business for over 30 years. So here in our Tulsa office, we have our own programming staff department, also our own customer service and technical support staff. We are an IBM registered business partner and a Microsoft certified partner. So the risks and limitations of tape backups can haunt you. Slower speeds, tape versus disk-to-disk backup solution. Potential data loss in terms of mislabeled tapes, lost tapes, damaged tapes. This can cause extended downtime in terms of having to do restores, full system restores, limited scalability in terms of you're physically limited by a tape, the size of the amount of data that can go onto a tape, the amount of tapes you can actually have in a physical tape library. Also labor intensive, the movement of tapes on-site, off-site, for saves and recoveries, for disaster recovery. So tape can be very labor intensive compared to an automated disk-to-disk backup VTL solution. Slow and complicated restores. One of those is basically having to retrieve your off-site tape in order to just basically restore a library object or large amounts of data to your system, and also recovering tapes for disaster recovery. So banish tape nightmares and master backup and recovery with a virtual tape solution, which can greatly increase your backup speeds compared to physical tape. Centralized management of your backups, meaning that you can have all of your backups online available, all of your virtual tapes that are in your dailies, weekly, monthly retentions for immediate restores. A user-friendly functionality means that you can simply use a very simple interface to access your backups, to load previous virtual tapes for easy, fast restores. So that gives you faster, easier data recovery and reliability of your backups. Automated archiving capabilities will give you a way to offsite your backups, especially those long-term retention saves that could need to be saved for, say, up to 7 years. A VTL disk-to-disk backup solution is easily scalable in terms of being able to simply just increase disk space for additional backups, increasing your virtual tape inventory to increase the number of retentions and increase the number of backups that you'd like to do. Backup to deduplication appliances and cloud storage, so being able to leverage current storage, SAN, NAS storage, deduplication appliance storage, being able to leverage that without having to add on additional storage for your IBM I backups, and being able to replicate to and back up to cloud, meaning that you can store off-site and use that space for archiving backups and replicating backups. So speed, key benefit, faster, more reliable backups, rapid, reliable recovery. So you can see in our chart the comparisons in terms of write speed at megabytes per second, where we have LTO9 up to 400 megabytes a second, where in LaserVault in the real environment have seen speeds of up to 850 megasecond and even faster than that. So as you can see, you can really shorten your backup window, increasing your backup speed with a disk-to-disk backup solution compared to any of the LTO versions on physical tape. So take control of your storage costs and management by using a virtual tape with data deduplication. Our particular solution is called BDup, block enhanced deduplication. And so this gives you the capability to save quite a bit on storage costs in terms of standard compression, whereas deduplication can give you compression of 10 to 1 or even higher, depending on the change rate of your particular data set. So this decreases your storage needs, reduces redundant copies of your backups because of block level. Data deduplication means that blocks that do not contain new or changed data at the time they were saved don't get saved again. So you're not repeatedly saving blocks of data that have already been saved that contain new or changed data. So if nothing's changed, block doesn't have to be saved to disk and stored. Reducing network traffic. So this is in terms of replication. So you're replicating 10 times less data than what you're saving or higher, meaning you're reducing the amount of time it takes to replicate your backups, whether it's cloud storage, disaster recovery site, maybe even both. So this is going to greatly reduce network traffic and also replication time. So also that means you're improving your protection of your data, meaning that you're getting your replicated copies offsite much faster to improve protection of your backups with duplicate copies. So our particular VTL solution can be a gateway to external storage. SAN, NAS, deduplication appliance such as Exagrid, Cohesity, Rubrik, Veritas, just to name a few of the solutions in which you can utilize and leverage the storage on those systems for your IBM I backups. So our VTL solution as a gateway means that we're going to be able to write directly to an SMB or NFS share on storage or iSCSI mount of storage directly to that without having to store backups on a VTL server. So it just passes the data right on through directly to your storage. Therefore, you're leveraging your existing storage for your IBM I backups. Also, replication. If you can see in the chart here, we have in the diagram replication. Many of these particular backup solutions or existing SAN NAS solutions provide a replication capability in which you can easily make copies of your backups to a DR site with an additional VTL server that's going to allow you to restore that data to a DR system and also actually run saves when you either run a DR scenario or in worst case scenario, you have to roll over to your DR system. Also, we'd like to announce a new partnership with IBM for IBM's Defender Data Protect. So we just discussed on the previous slide our VTL solution being a gateway to external SAN NAS storage. Well, in this case, it can point directly to IBM's Data Defender Protect cluster, so the storage there can be accessible to the VTL solution so that you can utilize that data protection on the system there to archive and store and restore from your IBM I backups using LaserVault as, again, a gateway solution directly to that storage. So redefine your restore and your recovery with faster data recovery, ruling out human error in terms of misplaced tapes, mislabeled tapes. So you're going to be able to mitigate the risk of data loss, creating a more reliable restore capability. Easy replication, automated replication ensures multiple copies of your backups. So this gives you a better disaster recovery plan for your IBM I saves. So the ability to instantly load a virtual tape into the virtual tape drive means that because you can have more tapes available than you can on your physical tape library or in your vault or wherever it is that you're storing tapes, you'll have everything available online where you can easily select something that is on a tape that could be many days or many months old and actually perform a restore immediately. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the features and capabilities of our particular VTL solution called LaserVault Vital. So I'm going to go to our web interface. So we're going to log in with a secure username and password. First thing I'm going to go to would be libraries to give you some of the parameter options when defining a virtual tape library within our VTL system. So we're going to edit library 1. The name of the library is basically what you want to name this particular tape library, which matches what is over here on the menu to the left. I'll show you that in a moment. The library path. So we talked about using external storage, SAN, NAS storage, deduplication appliance storage. This would be your library path to that storage. So this path basically points to all your virtual tapes. This is where data is written. This is where data is restored and where your inventory is kept of your virtual tapes. In this particular example, I have a server in our data center that has a volume of disk on it, and this is where my backups are stored on local storage on a server in which our VTL software is currently running. So this path can point to local storage to a server, which can replicate. We'll talk about that. It can be compressed, can be deduped, or it can point to external storage in which you can leverage your existing disk space for all your IBM I backups. Tape emulation, these are the tape emulation LTO versions that we support. Typically people would use LTO 8. A couple of things important to note on these LTO versions, they do not have a storage limit. So if your backup is 10 terabytes, that can all fit on any one of these LTO version tapes without having to span multiple tapes. So if you're currently doing that today where your backup is larger than what can be stored on a tape, then this reduces the number of management with your tapes because you'll have less tapes that you need to manage. So you can choose your version. Also, the second thing is there's no speed difference in any of these particular LTO options, but it'd usually be in most people's cases 5 or 8. Data block file count. This is one way in which backups can be much faster on a VTL solution such as LaserVault. In this particular feature that we have in our system allows for multi-thread write processing. And the data block file count is currently set to 8. So if you're saving to a virtual tape during your backup, the write process is writing out to 8 files at the same time. So we're spreading the writes out into multiple files as a multi-thread write process. Even though you just have to save to one virtual tape, you're writing out to multiple files. This makes backup speed much faster with a disk-to-disk solution. Other things that help speed up your backup process and also your restores are utilizing the cache properties and changing those megabyte values to give you the fastest read speed for restores and the fastest write speed for backup saves. Software, our VTL perpetual license comes automatically in standard compression, which averages around 4:1. Our deduplication option bdupe, which we had shown a slide previously of our bdupe solution. This is a additional perpetual license, an add-on license for performing deduplication, which again increases your compression ratio 10:1, 12:1. That's usually it's around 12:1 we typically see with production data. Dev data and things like that could be up to 20, 30:1 compression. Encryption, whether you're using compression or deduplication, encryption is there, your encryption key is here. And so checking that means that as the data is being written to disk during the backup process, the data is being encrypted using whatever encryption key you've entered. Replication and retention. So replication, I have 3 examples defined for volumes that begin with test. So this allows you to create replication and retention jobs applied to certain tape volumes based on their prefix. And of course, a tape volume ID means that it's a total of 6 characters for that volume ID. So I have three different options here. I have network path, which is replicating to a DR location, whether that be storage at a DR location or whether it be a second VTL server with storage. So this allows you to replicate your backups, and this is going to be an automated process. Another example, Amazon S3 and Microsoft Azure. So Azure S3 storage as well as Wasabi are already preset options within our software to utilize those cloud accounts for replicating backups. For example, Amazon S3, we've already got in place your cloud storage properties, your access key, bucket name, region, and so you can go ahead and set this up for your cloud account to replicate to Amazon S3. Azure, again, Wasabi are the two other options that are allow for cloud property parameters to be put in place for your particular cloud account. So, and this also, in addition to replication, this also helps you perform retention. So if you're using, say, for example, go save commands for your backup procedure and you'd like to establish retention on your daily, weekly, monthly tapes that are stored locally, you can enable local retention based on age or number of volumes. You can have those volumes deleted or initialized. If you want to reuse them, of course, you'd initialize them. Now, if you happen to use BRMS or Robot Save, you would allow those backup solutions to handle your retentions. So your current media policies within BRMS can be used with this solution and these virtual tapes to run the same retention that you currently have, and that's with BRMS. Remote retention can also be defined, so it can be separate in terms of the retention between local and remote. If you'd like to keep remote copies longer than your local copies, whether you're replicating to a DR site or cloud storage, or both. And this also can be based on age and number of volumes. So once you have defined any replication retention parameters based on which volumes you'd like to place these on, these are going to turn into, these will become automated jobs that run typically on a daily basis to handle replication and retention. And you also have email notifications that you can set up to where you'll receive an email on any replication jobs that start and once they complete, and if there are any errors. Some of the other capabilities, such as NPIV. So in our particular solution, the two connectivity options between LaserVault VTL and the IBM I would be SAS or fiber channel. Same options for a physical tape device. With fiber channel, we typically are using 16 gig, but can go higher, 32 gig, 64 gig fiber channel. With NPIV, for each of the physical fiber channel ports connected to the IBM I from LaserVault VTL, you can have up to 64 virtual tape devices. So with NPIV, for each physical port, again, 64 virtual devices. And this can be divided up any way that you wish, whether it's in a tape library with X number of tape devices, or multiple tape libraries that are going to be used across multiple partitions. And then also you have security options. So as a member of the administrator group, which my login is a member of, let's edit those. So you can lock down some of the features and capabilities based on a user that belongs to a group in which you have placed these settings for group access. So you can turn off deleting of media. You can turn off write protect, change whether they can be allowed to protect it or unprotect a virtual tape, and some of the other options. so you can establish some security on your virtual tape libraries. Yeah, I had a question here on benefits or drawbacks of choosing either compression or deduplication. I would say the main benefit is the increased compression with deduplication. So with our solution, there's no difference in write speed in terms of one backs up faster than the other, or one writes faster than the other. So if we're looking at speeds of 850 megasecond, then either option will write that fast. So you're not losing any speed with choosing either of those options one way or the other. The other thing on the deduplication, we do recommend SSD for your storage, especially if you're using local disk storage on a VTL server hosting LaserVault Vital. You'd want to use, it's important to use SSD for speed of backups, also for restore speeds. Restore speeds quite a bit faster with the SSD disk storage technology. Okay, so let's go to Library 1 for viewing the capabilities within the tape library inventory. So as we see, we have a drive, which is our virtual tape device. So back on our IBM I system, we do a work MLB status. This is our LaserVault tape library and our LaserVault tape device. So that is one worldwide port name with control path yes, gives you this tape library and the tape device. So adding another worldwide port name within PIV to that same fiber channel port would give you a tape library with two tape devices, or you could set that up as two tape libraries with a device each. So if you do have more than one tape device, they'll be listed here, drive 1, drive 2, etc. Then we have slot 1 and so forth of all your virtual tapes. So the first thing you do, and again, here's our library path, whether that's external storage or local storage. It's really simple to create tapes. So you go create media, put in a prefix of 1. Typically folks use 1, 2, or 3 character prefixes. You can create multiple tape images, which automatically tells you the next slot that's open and how many slots are available. And then you can check to initialize those tapes, which is the same as an INZ tape. So this will automatically create all your tapes. You can put a capacity limit on tapes. Some of our customers save journals throughout the day, and they want to put a capacity limit on those tapes so that once they fill up with journal saves, it automatically bumps to the next available tape. And there's one thing I wanted to go back to in libraries. Another parameter I want to show you is the number of storage slots. So it's currently set to 60, which means I can add in 60 virtual tapes. You can increase this number to add more tapes anytime that you want without additional licensing fees. And that storage slot limitation is 16,354, I believe. So it's quite a few. You can add many additional storage slots if you want to add more retention, more dailies, more weeklies, more monthlies that you'd like to store. You can always go back and increase the number of storage slots anytime that you need more tapes. So back again to Library 1. Some of the other features would be move. So if you need to manually move a virtual tape into the drive, you can do that. This might be an occurrence where you're doing a full system bare metal restore and it's a full system save, and you're going to demode IPL and load the OS and the license internal code and then everything else. You could go here, load that full system, move that full system save into the drive, and go through a normal demode IPL process that you would with a physical tape. It's the exact same way to do it with this particular VTL solution, is using this as a tape device, because we will show up in the DST as a tape device to use to do a demode IPL. I have the option to delete a tape. Now, if the tape is protected, I can't delete it until I turn off unprotect, which the protect option is here. Export means moving the tape from the storage in which it's being saved to here to the export path. So you might use this particular feature if you want to move a tape from inventory to your export path, which could be cloud storage, it could be external storage, SAN, NAS, it could be an offsite location in which that is pointing to that particular storage. In my case, I'm pointing to cloud storage. You can click on import, and anytime you need, you can bring back that tape, that virtual tape. So you can see that I can check, I want to bring back TAP16, check the box, click import, and that'll bring it down from that cloud storage back into inventory. Yes, you can do, yeah, you can point to the tape drive on non-HMC systems. Yes. Yeah, so it would be point to the tape drive. Yes, you can definitely do that. Okay, there's also the labels, so if you want to see what's on that tape. So any full system save would show all your Q libraries listed here, as well as all user libraries and other information. It's kind of like doing a display tape, which you can do, of course, just by loading the tape in the drive and doing a display tape. But we give you a quick snapshot of all the libraries that are in the save, along with the sequence number and the size of the library. Some of the other additional information, like your replication jobs, we have a list of those here that you can easily go and audit your replication of those replication jobs that are completed. Fiber channel port information. This is where we're doing a 16 gig fiber channel port, giving you your worldwide port names that are available. So everything's really, and typically this is going to be used really just to set everything up, and then everything else is done through the IBM I. Your go save, your typical go save, your same go save commands that you're using today, BRMS, because you're easily going to be able to bring in those virtual tapes that you create here into BRMS and use those for your backup retentions. So once everything's set up here, then, and we offer remote as well or on-site installation training. Typically it's done remotely. It's pretty easy to do, but we'll get connected with you and get connected with the system remotely and help you get everything set up, including any BRMS stuff. If you needed help with that, we do know BRMS here and can help. Okay, so take control of your backups with the accelerated backup speed, centralized management, user-friendly interface, rapid and reliable recovery. Because we saw, based on that inventory, you can have all your tapes available if you want them, and even go and bring those in anytime if they're exported or if they're at a replication site, cloud storage, whatever the case may be. Automated archiving, where you can set up your retention, whether it's remote retention, local retention, those can be different, and easily scalable in terms of being able to increase the number of tapes that you want available within inventory, easily increase disk space if needed, and so forth. Okay, so if you'd like to check out a custom demo with one of our engineers and sales folks here at LaserVault, let us know at info@laservault.com. We do offer a $50 Amazon gift card if you would like to have that after the demo is completed, so that's kind of nice. But this will give us an opportunity to best configure what is needed in terms of hardware, software licensing, fiber channel or SAS connectivity, so we can really size out and determine what hardware that you need. So many times we offer our solution as a VTL. It's either software with a server, gateway server, storage, or maybe just software license, and we provide you all the specs that's needed for a particular server. You can run this in a VM environment. This does run in Windows 2022 Server, but you do need a PCIe slot for the Fiber Channel or SAS HBA in your host server to connect to the IBM I. So our connectivity, Fiber Channel or SAS, just like a physical tape device. I would say there's a question on compare cybernetics or data domain. I think probably one of the main things would be the investment. In terms of being able to use external storage if you would like, typically the hardware that's involved with our solution is quite a bit cost comparative, is quite a bit lower in many cases. So I'd say probably that would probably, from what I understand and from what I've learned over the years, is that basically if you can leverage existing disk space, purchase a software license without having to purchase an appliance, and then without having to refresh that appliance at full price, because with our software solution, you own the license. It's a perpetual license. It's not a subscription. It's not repurchasing any additional licensing at the time where, say, you're at end of life with a particular solution. So I would say that we're not really an appliance-based product. We're storage agnostic, and also any server environment that you want to place our product in can easily be done with maybe existing server or a straight basic Windows server with a Fiber Channel or SAS card available for IBM I connectivity. There's some resources you can download in the GoToWebinar panel: sizing questionnaires, some testimonials, comparison virtual tape versus physical, technical specifications of our solution. So feel free to download. We'll also be recording this and saving it out to our YouTube channel, and we'll be sending out a link via email of a recording of this particular webinar. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for their time for a demo, so we can go over how to basically set up the requirements for your IBM I backups. info@laservault.com. There's our 800 number. We're going to have a drawing real quick after this presentation, and then for a 1 terabyte portable SSD drive. Once this session is concluded, we'll notify you via email if you are the lucky winner. So I do want to leave off this webinar. We're pretty much over, but I do want to leave off with if I can get it over to you guys, a quick Halloween joke. How much storage does Stephen King have on his computer? 1 terabyte. How much storage does Stephen King have on his computer? 1 terabyte. That's a great Halloween joke you could tell your family and friends. Anyway, all right, doesn't look like there's additional questions. I want to thank everybody for their time, and yeah, that's a goofy joke. All right, so thanks everybody for your time, and have a great rest of your day.